Okay.
Good evening, Facebook Live. This is the 15 Red podcast, live for our season review this evening. And we are on Wednesday, the 5th of April, 2021. And we're here. I'm in Burton-on-Trent. Just gone 6:10 in the evening. As you can see, quite nice sunshine coming through the windows. Good evening to Scott, who's in Northern Ireland. Nice to see you again, sir.
Nice to see you. I should just correct you on the date. It's not the 5th of April. You're a month behind. It's the 5th of May. But good evening to you.
I did that the other night as well, didn't I? I got the date wrong. Oh, dear me. Okay. So, yeah.
Well, good to see you again, Graham. Good to see you in the chair.
Yes. Well, that's a Phil Yates moment right there. Oh, dear me. Sorry about that, fellas. And good morning to Mike in Vancouver, British Columbia. How are you, sir?
Very well, very well. Nice to see the originals again.
Yeah, it's great on this glorious April day. It's fantastic. We're doing a season review, and we're going right back to the first event of the season, which was the European Masters. And it took place in September, didn't it? Of last year. If I'm getting the months right, just let me know, guys.
September 21st was the start of the season.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
So, yeah, take me through that tournament then, guys, and I'll go with Scott first.
Well, a 98 victory for Mark Selby, and he was superb in that final, really. Of course, there had been some Championship League just before that. Because, as you know, the Championship League done in stages.
Yes.
But we'll get to that in a moment. But in terms of completed tournaments, the European Masters was the first silverware handed out. And Mark Selby, first ranking tournament in the UK, I believe, since his third world title.
It was. That is correct, Scott. Yep, it was.
Yeah. And there was quite an interesting semi-final as well. Selby beat Murphy in the semi-final that tournament.
6-3.
Yeah, which is coincidental with the final that's just gone as well.
Yes.
Also, Martin Gould got to the final, which was a little bit surprising. But man, he played some very good snooker in that tournament too.
Yeah,
and, he took Selby to a decider. So,
yeah, I was just going to say, you got 8 frames off Selby.
Yep.
So that was a very good run for him. And Martin Gould, of course, beat Judd Trump in the semi-final. 6-3.
Yep. Yes, he did. That's right as well. He did. He had a pretty strong road to get to the final.
Yep. And there was also 98 century breaks in that tournament as well.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah.
98, and Selby had 9. Oh, no, sorry, that's the frame. Yeah, 98 centuries for the tournament.
Yep. Well, Selby had 98 centuries. He did well. So thoughts on that tournament overall, then, guys? What do we think?
A good appetizer to get us going.
Yep, agreed. That was very good.
Of course, someone played at Milton Keynes behind closed doors because of COVID, but we would get used to that.
Yep.
Yep. That's something we had to get used to throughout the whole of this season.
Yeah, Calvin has just joined us saying good evening.
Oh, hi,
hey, Calvin.
Good lad.
Also, for the season,
He's always there. He's always a regular. He's Calvin.
Yes, he's as constant as Her Majesty, I think.
So there was 19 tournaments for the season and 15 were ranking events. It was also the lowest since 04-05. Due to COVID, obviously, they had to change things up.
Yes, yes. Chinese, for instance.
Correct. Yep. So, all right. So then, the English Open, Scott.
Then
Well,
it was
that-
the English, of course.
Well, the final was, of course, Neil Robertson and Judd Trump.
Yep. In a classic
But,
match.
A superb ending, because they both broke off. They both broke off, and Judd broke off in frame 16, and then Neil made a century. Then in frame 17, Neil broke off and Judd made a century to win it.
Exactly. That was an excellent final.
And actually, for most of that final, Neil was actually the better player.
Agreed. Yep.
And actually, in Judd's first 3 matches, now bear in mind, the first 4 matches of a Home Nations event are best of 7s. So first to 4. In his first 3 matches, Judd was 3-1 down in each of them.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's right. I do. Yeah, very good point.
And the first of 5 tournaments that Trump wins. I know you want to come back to that later on, Mike, but we'll...
Yeah,
Yes,
that's it for the first ranking event for Judd this season.
Yeah, the first of 5, of course.
Yeah. So the semis there was Mark Selby lost to Neil Robertson 6-5, and Judd Trump
classic, by the way.
John Higgins 6-4 in them semis.
Yep, but I would say that was the best single, well, outside of the World Championship, because the World Championship's always the best tournament we'll see to enter to some extent. But in terms of like non-World Championship, I would say the English Open was the best because of that semi-final lineup and because of the way the final finished.
Yeah, I can't dispute that. That's valid.
Yeah.
I know you want to come back to it, Mike, but we'll
come back to it in the headlines. I'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back to that. So moving on.
Calvin says, by the way, that he's not a fan of best of 7s.
No, I don't think I am either, to be fair. I like the longer matches. I like to get into a match.
So do I. Which is why my favourite tournament is that outside of the Worlds is now the Tour Championship.
Agreed. Yep, I agree with that.
There was 66 century breaks in that tournament. The highest, of course, coming from Neil Robertson, 140.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Brilliant stuff. That semi-final between him and Selby was the first of 3 matches they played, and 2 out of the 3 of them went to the decider, of course, between Robertson and Selby.
Just unreal, isn't it? Just unreal.
There were 2 classic matches, those 2 deciders. We'll get to them in a moment.
Yep.
Okay.
We'll get to the next.
The next tournament?
Championship League.
The non-ranking one, or the ranking one that Kyron won, where he beat Trump 3-1.
Correct.
Yeah, because there's 2, isn't there? The Championship League that's ranking, and apparently the one that's not ranked.
Yeah, well,
that's right.
the non-ranking was the traditional one that's played every year, but the ranking one was basically put into full time due to COVID.
Okay. Yeah, of course, Kyron Wilson won that one against Judd, didn't he?
3-1, yeah. And to be perfectly honest, I know obviously the Championship League's played in stages, so you can't really judge the form terribly well. But Kyron, Judd couldn't have done a terrible lot in that final because Kyron did play extremely well.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Right.
So, at the beginning of the season, we see Judd win, and then he loses in a final in the Championship League. So then we go to the Champion of Champions, Scott.
Oh,
And it is Mark Allen 10, Neil Robertson 6.
Yes. Now, I'm coming back to that in the headlines, so I don't want to give too much away there. But what I will say about that is not the final, but the semi-final between Robertson and Selby.
Yes, I recall that. Great semi-final.
There. Best, not only best match of the season, but you might have seen if you scroll down my personal Facebook page at the time. Well, we weren't friends at the time, I know that, but if you go back and scroll down, I put a Facebook post up the next morning saying I put that in one of the top 10 matches of all time.
Yeah, that was the one with the 6 centuries in consecutive frames, and they were kind of trading centuries off, Scott.
Yeah. But best match of the season by a mile.
Correct. I 100% agree with you on that. That was a cracker.
I'll come back to Mark Allen winning it when we get to the headlines, but I just wanted to highlight that was superb. And by the way, gentlemen, just on a slight diversion here, what do you think of the Champion of Champions? Because it's a splendid tournament, I think.
yeah. I think it's okay. I think that it's got the group stages in it and that sort of thing. I actually went to one of them as well, which was a great thing to go and watch. It was really sensational to see it. I think it's a good tournament. It has longer frames in it as well. Yeah, I think overall, I think it's okay. Not my favorite.
I think. You know what I think? It's the best tournament of the winter.
I think it's a good tournament. Probably 5th on my list, I would say.
Do you know that winter period?
Yeah.
Sort of October to about January.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Champion of Champions is my favourite, I think.
Okay.
Not bad.
Of the ones that's played in that sort of winter period, because it's getting cold.
And we need something. We need something to warm us up a bit.
Yeah.
And that surely does it. Yeah. But like I say, it's a good tournament, and I did see the 147 there 2 years ago with Selby. So.
Or rather, you didn't.
No, I did. This guy.
It was the other, and then you missed the decider.
I missed the decider, so karma bit me on the ass.
Yes.
Sorry about the language, guys. I'm just going
yeah, yes, indeed. Moving on, then.
It did.
My home tournament was next, was it?
The
Northern Ireland Open.
Yeah. Ah, yes. Now, this is one that hopefully you was on about going to next season.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, if restrictions allow it.
That would be awesome if we could do that.
Oh, yes.
Judd Trump wins his second trophy there. Scott?
Third
in the season, sorry, yeah. And of course he beat Ronnie.
9-7.
For Ronnie's first defeat in final.
Yep. 3rd year in a row, too. They faced off in the final in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Still quite a surprising thing that, Ronnie would lose in the amount of finals that he's done this season, but this been the first one. Judd was probably he was a little bit stronger than him on that showing.
Yeah. Of the three of them, of the 3 Northern Ireland, they play. Probably not as good as the other 2, but still good.
Yep. I think that's a fair assessment. I think there were 68 centuries, Scott. 68 centuries.
Yes.
In that tournament, I think 68 is right.
Do you think we should make Ronnie and Judd honorary citizens of Northern Ireland?
Well, you,
Well, you would
if
think
they
so,
meet
yeah,
in the final this year, they're honorary citizens. How's that sound?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if they get to the final this year, I'll write to the government and see what we can do.
Well, you'd have to give them that City of Freedom pass.
Yes, we'll give them the freedom of Belfast and drive sheep up the main street in Belfast.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I'm sure Judd or Ronnie, if you're watching, you're going to get that pass. So
Yeah, no good.
Final predictions for next year, then, guys.
9-7, Judd.
What again? He'll beat Ronnie 9-7 again. Yeah.
Well, we know what's going to happen, like.
Yeah. One of the interesting things about that tournament, by the way, was David Grace making the semi-finals, getting beat.
Yeah, that was superb. Well done, David.
What a run that was.
David,
very unexpected.
Amazing grace.
Do you know, we had an episode like Snooker Loopy, but I think that just tops that off.
Yeah.
Good singing, Scott. Good singing. Yeah, Amazing Grace. Well done. Okay, so that was Ronnie's first defeat this season in a final then. So moving on. Yeah, for the 5. So the next one is
UK.
the biggie. Well,
UK
one of the
Championship.
Yeah, the first big one, I would say, of the ranking events.
Yep.
And the late finish.
Yep. Neil Robertson 10 and Judd Trump 9.
Yeah.
That was a great final again. Those two guys were the class.
That was a wonderful final. Here's how we finished.
That deciding frame. What a frame of snooker that was.
Yeah, like I said, to finish at 1:45 in the morning.
Do you remember Neil's face?
Yeah.
Yes, he looked pretty ecstatic when he won.
No, but it's like, have I actually won this thing?
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? He's like, yeah, I've won now.
What, befuddled look?
Yeah, I think they must have been playing for that long and he forgot.
And Neil's third UK title.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And,
trivia quick. Oh well. Speaking of Neil Robertson, I'll give the answer to the trivia question that I understand you two gave out on my behalf. I wasn't available last night, but you two gave a trivia question out on my behalf.
You did.
Yes.
Just to let you know, Kelvin says that great tournament is the Northern Ireland Open. It's set in a great venue as well. I went for Legends about 6 years ago, seen Kurt Stevens, Cliff Forbin and Jimmy White and Dennis Taylor play there.
Nice.
And Kelvin.
Yes, well, I was there in 2017. It's a marvellous venue.
I'd love to go, yeah. Kelvin said that the UK final was an unreal match.
Oh, yeah.
Best match of the season. That was.
Yeah. Yeah, that was over McGill and Bingham?
Yeah, it was. That final, Judd Trump and Neil Robertson, 10-9, that was best match of the season, I say.
Quite scrappy in patches as well, though. But very good, so.
It was, but I mean, at the ending, the way it played out, the time of it all, that was a great one.
I think the
136 centuries for the UK tournament.
Yeah, I think the final frame was a bit scrappy. There was only like 10 points in it. So
yeah. By the way, shall I give this trivia question answer, right?
Yeah, you go for it.
Yep.
And the question was, what record do Ronnie and Neil share at the World Championship? And the answer is, they both made the most 140 plus breaks with 9 each.
Very interesting.
Very there, yeah. That's a good fact.
Yeah, very good fact.
Oh, by the way, Scott, I've got a question for you. And we did speak about this last night, just before we get into the next tournament. Who is the best player with the rest?
Kyron.
That's what McManus said. Very interesting. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
And I'm not going to gainsay I'm not going to gainsay my favourite commentator now, am
I? Your favourite commentator? Well, I would say that would be Alan McManus or Dave Hendon.
McManus. I'm sorry, Dave.
Yeah, McManus is in all departments, and we will come to his retirement later on, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right then. So our next tournament was the Scottish. Yep.
A Selby slaughtering of O'Sullivan.
Yep. First match since the semi-finals at the Worlds, and you could see there was a little bit of purpose in Selby's play.
Yeah, a bit of revenge.
He looked like he wanted to settle a score for sure. So he full value for the 9-3 victory, and he locked up his second title of the season.
Yeah, and he's never lost a match at the Scottish Open, actually.
Wow, he hasn't lost a match?
Yeah. No, because he didn't play it at the first 3 years. Because remember when the Scottish Open is held in the calendar?
Yeah, in December.
Yeah, just before Christmas.
Mm.
Okay. So Mark Selby's only played in it 2 years, and he's won it both times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a really good. That was a good fight. Well, Selby again, he's found dominance, doesn't he? And he's done that most of the season as well. The way he's played.
Yeah, right. Selby. I know I described John Higgins as the Ian Botham of snooker. If John Higgins is Ian Botham, then Mark Selby. Give me another all-rounder. You're talking somebody like, I don't know, somebody like Lara.
Oh yeah, Brian Lara. Yep.
Could he bowl?
Oh God. Oh yeah. He's a good batsman as well.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic batsman. But
so Selby, Brian Lara, basically.
Okay.
No, not Brian Lara. I'm going Jeffrey Boycott.
Yeah, and I know what Scott means. He's very solid at the crease. Yeah. He's very, he's a strong player, isn't he? Selby he grinds you down, and that's what he did in the final to Murphy. Absolutely took him to where he didn't want to play. Murphy didn't want to play that way. So, and that's what.
And neither did O'Sullivan, actually.
Well, out of what we know now compared to back then, who had the better season, Judd Trump or Mark Selby?
Well, on the numbers you'd say Trump, but on the actual tournament you'd say Selby.
Yeah, I would argue with you that Selby had the best season of any player, even though he didn't win as many ranking events.
I think Selby had a great season, possibly just edging Judd. But yeah, and I think Ronnie was like the underachiever, like I coined. Ronnie was underachiever, and he didn't even match Selby. He didn't match Judd. He didn't match Higgins. He didn't match.
Nobody could have. Well, we'll get to the Players' Championship in a moment because that nearly deserves a separate episode.
Well, yeah. I mean, that performance was unbelievable, by the way. But we'll get, like we say, we'll get there in a moment. But so that was the Scottish Open.
Correct. Where do we go next, Scott?
World Grand
Masters?
Prix. Oh, is it the
I think it's the
Masters?
Grand. Is it the Grand Prix?
Ah,
Is
the
it-
World Grand Prix, yes, you're quite right.
Yeah, the Grand Prix is next, and
Yep.
it's Judd Trump 10, and it's Jack Lazowski 7.
Yeah. Do you remember it was 7-2 and Lazowski just burst into life?
Oh, that's right. Yes, I do remember that. And he made a match
Chris
of it.
Bland says Boycott would stand at the crease all day, but so would Selby.
Yeah. Well, you just never get them out. That's the thing.
Oh, these cricket analogies, I tell you.
Oh, mate, honestly. But yeah, we're on to the World Grand Prix, aren't we? Sorry, I'm just trying
Yeah.
to get it back.
10-7 Trump.
And the
I've got it
first
here
of the 3 finals that Judd beat Jack in.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true.
Um,
This was also the
Yeah.
closest one.
I think
Yeah.
that's the second one was at Gibraltar, wasn't it?
Germany.
Yeah, he hammered him like 10-2, I think, in Germany, wasn't it, Scott?
9-2.
9-2.
Well,
9-2.
Milton Keynes / Germany.
German, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So anyway, what do
38
you think of that
centuries
tournament?
in that 38 centuries in that tournament.
Not bad. 38 centuries.
Yeah, only
first-
16. No, it's 32, man, isn't it?
No, 38.
No, 32 players in it.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right there. 32.
32 players, but it's 38 centuries, as Graham said. That's correct.
Yeah.
So
So what did you think of that performance by first Trump and then Lazowski?
Trump was superb early on for 7-2 lead, and Lazowski just exploded.
Yep. And
You
the
thought-
better man won.
Yeah, you thought coming
Yeah.
back at 7-2, you thought that night that, you know, it was going to be game over, but then Lazowski just exploded. But the match I remember, in fact, from that that tournament was actually Lazowski beating Selby.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
6-4.
6-4.
Yeah.
And then, of course, didn't Judd beat Ronnie 6-1?
He did, and that was an absolute wow. Over he did him over a few times. Finals, a couple of finals, and now this in the semi-finals.
Yeah. Well, have you got Judd's route to the title there, Graham?
I have, yes. So he beat opening round Michael Holt 4-3. Very
3-1.
surprising.
I think he was 3-1 down there as well.
Yes. So, but Michael Holt to get 3 frames off Trump. Then he beat another deciding frame. He beat Bingham 4-3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he beat in the quarters Martin Gould 5-2. Then he beat Ronnie 6-1 and Lazowski 10-7 in the final.
Not a bad
6-1
run.
against Ronnie. Dear me.
I know.
Yeah,
And,
no, that was a good round.
Lazowski, by the way, his route to the final, just to cover that, he beat Sean Murphy 4-2. Then Robert Milkins 4-0. He beat Xing Tong 5-3 and Mark Selby 6-4 before losing to Judd.
Not bad. He beat some scalps.
Yeah. I think that
Calvin says that he hopes
Murphy was the big
Lazowski wins one next season.
Well, that was Mike's question. Would Lazowski win a ranking event? Or win 2 ranking events?
Originally it was 2, but because it seemed a bit too much of a stretch, I changed it to 1.
Is he going to get that one?
Still a bit of a stretch.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it still possible?
Well,
Possible, but not likely.
Well, nobody's been in 6 consecutive ranking finals and not won one of them.
Is that right? Oh yeah, and that's what Lazowski would be doing.
Well, he's had 6 now.
He would be the full record holder then.
Yeah.
Wow. Hopefully he does.
He's such a frustrating player. He has so much talent, says Calvin.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah.
Yep, I agree with that.
But is he good enough to come past these guys? Trump, Selby, Murphy. You know, is he good enough to do that?
Great. Calvin says possibly he'll get 1.
Possible but not likely is my final answer on that.
Because I think we've discussed that before, Mike. Is he good enough to come past players like Selby, like Higgins, O'Sullivan?
For him to win a ranking event, he's going to have to beat 1 or maybe 2 of those big heavyweight guys at the top 5. And is he capable of doing it? Well, I don't have a lot of faith. I hope he does, but seeing is believing, I guess. You know what I mean? Like,
can you see him winning one, Scott?
Well, blessed art thou that seest not and believest, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know. I just
No, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Possibly, maybe a minor one. Maybe, you know, one of these English Opens, maybe, or.
Well, the English Opens aren't in minor. £70,000.
Yeah, I know, but what I mean is in the scale of what I mean, like the UK Championship and the Masters.
Yeah, yes.
But
speaking of the Masters,
it's our next tournament.
Correct. Yep. 10-8. Jan.
I was delighted to see Jan. I know I like John, but I was delighted to see Jan win that.
Agreed.
One of the things that I found interesting about that, I mean, I'm not knocking BBC and I'm not knocking Rob Walker or whatever, but because I felt like just because he had an interpreter there and because he only asked him about 2 questions and that was it. You know, I don't think he gave him the equal chance to speak what he wanted to say.
Well, his English isn't terribly good, so be fair.
Yeah, but I think that he gave Higgins a longer interview. That's all I'm going to say on that. But that's just my personal view on it. I thought he was a bit unfair there, and he'd won the thing. He'd won the thing. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah. I mean, it was a good final. Jan was the better player by some margin.
But of course, we all know what the match of that tournament was, don't we?
The match of that tournament.
What was it?
Ronnie and John in the quarters.
Oh yeah, the 6-3.
5 consecutive centuries.
Yes. Very good.
Yes,
that's correct. Yeah, that was that. I do remember that now.
So, but yeah, the final, the final was really. I thought it was good quality. That final. It started picking up through the season then. You know.
Yeah, good to see John back in the final, by the way.
Yeah, very good. And it set him up nicely for the Players' Championship a bit later on.
Which
where he could get to a
probably
final.
Deserves its own episode. Pardon me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a fantastic performance to John, and we'll talk about it in a bit. But in the Masters, there was only 30 century breaks.
Seems very low for a tournament with that kind of player.
But yeah,
very, very short frame.
Jan got there with 3 consecutive deciders.
Yep. So Graham, you were saying, Graham?
I was just basically saying that 30 centuries were very short frames because there was only best of 11s, and the final was best of 19. So that's why we got the low centuries, probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. Jan's route to the final, he beat Robertson 6-5. He beat Maguire 6-5. He beat Bingham 6-5, and then beat Higgins 10-8. So he had the hardest run there. Higgins beat Allen 6-5. He beat Ronnie 6-3, and then beat Dave Gilbert 6-4. So I would argue that Jan had the hardest run there.
Of course he did.
Yep.
But I've got to go back to that Ronnie and John match. That was just unbelievable.
Yeah, the consecutive centuries.
5 consecutive centuries.
Agreed. Very, very, very good performance.
Unbelievable.
No question. So, so Jan's a worthy winner, and then we go to the German Masters.
German, yep. And I'll just bring
In Milton Keynes, believe it or not.
Milton Keynes / Germany. Judd wins another trophy there, of course, beating Jack Lazowski.
Again.
Not just beating him, but hammering him this time. 9-2.
9-2, yeah. But the season's hotting up a bit now, isn't it? Since like we say, we're halfway through it.
Yep.
And the centuries, again, 25 centuries in that tournament, so 30 to 25 from the last previous one. But again, short frames.
Yeah, so that's why the numbers are down.
Yeah.
It's only best of 9s up until the semis, I think.
Semis. It is to the semis. Best of 9s. So, Trump bags, what, his second, is that his third ranking event of the year?
Third
one. And it didn't take him long. They only had 4 frames in the evening, so it didn't take him long.
And of course, Judd defended Northern Ireland, and now he's defended Germany.
Yep. That is right.
So, because that was the repeat of the World Grand Prix final. That was, by the way, Trump and Lazowski.
Yes.
Yeah. So, interesting one there. Moving on. What's the next one, guys?
The shootout. The always popular shootout, I should say.
Oh, dearie.
Have you got the frame score, haven't you, Mike, of the final?
I do. Ryan Day won the frame, and it was 67-24 against Mark Selby.
Which, anything can happen in the shootout, though, guys. You would know this.
Yep.
Yes.
Say if that was a World Championship final, would Ryan Day have won that?
No.
Very doubtful.
Doubt it. Very much so.
It goes to show you, doesn't it? That was there any standout matches in that tournament for you, Scott?
Mark Allen making the 1-4-2 was a nice bit of local pride, of course.
That was the only century, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It wasn't the only one.
I think it was the only century at that tournament.
It was the only century at that tournament, yeah.
Right.
So it was.
But to make a 1-4-2 in 10-minute frames is pretty good. Very, very good.
Very good.
Calvin Flattern says about the German, by the way, he says, shame it wasn't in Berlin. He's been 6 times to the Templedrum, fantastic venue, second to the Crucible.
Oh, wow. Very high. The Templedrum.
Okay.
Yes.
Very nice.
And then, of course, it's Mark Allen's break was the highest in the event of the history of the event.
Yes. Passing, by the way.
Who did he pass?
Tepchaya 139 in 2019.
Oh, very good. In 10 minutes.
Okay.
Wow.
And also, Sam Craigie beat Phil O'Kane in a sudden death blue ball shootout after the ordinary match finished level at 38 all.
Yeah. Yes, and it's not a re-spotted blue. It's basically like snooker penalties. You put the blue on the spot.
Yep.
And play the cue ball from the D.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And whoever pots it the most times is the winner.
Ah,
Oh.
okay. That's incredible. That's incredible, isn't it? I wouldn't like to be doing that.
No.
So that's the shootout covered. Well done to
Yep.
Ryan Day, by the way.
Yep.
50
He's one of your
grand
boys.
for
Winning a ranking event, which he's done really well there. But we all agree.
50 grand for an hour's work, basically.
Yeah, but we all agree. I think even Ryan Day did that. It's a crazy tournament, and it can happen in it, and it shouldn't really be a ranking event. But horses for courses on that one.
Well, no sane human being apart from Barry Hearn thinks it should be a ranking event, but nonetheless.
Yeah, well, Barry Hearn thinks he does.
He's allowed one mistake.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. So, on to the next one, which was the Welsh Open. Now, our first tournament, guys, that we covered, our very first one.
Yep, February the 15th of 2021.
The day,
and here we are.
Yeah, the day basically that our life changed a little bit.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Fantastic. It was basically I was looking around on Facebook groups like the snooker ones that I was associated with, and I thought, well, they're not posting anything relevant. They're not doing anything relevant. They're just posting stuff about, past matches,
current
results, all that sort of thing. Yeah. And I thought they're not actually doing anything interactive. So I thought I want to actually do something like that. And then I put the post up, and within 5 hours, this guy here, Mike, got in touch with me first. And I was like, great, okay, cool. And then we was like talking a little bit about what we were going to do. And then suddenly this other guy turns up. We said, and then I asked you, can Scott join you? He's like, yeah. And this is the result. The rest is history. It's it's quite emotional, actually, because that's 4 months.
Yeah. The host, Graham's the host. Mike stirs the pot, and I give the stats.
Good analogy.
Exactly.
I like the analogy there, Scott.
Yep, it's very well said.
But we got together, and then we was going, oh no, Championship League, it's already involved. So let's not bother with that. Let's go on to the Welsh Open, which is the more prestigious event. And I remember, guys, I still remember putting the notes together for this. I still remember,
Oh, yeah.
how we worked
Remember
together.
our first episode on StreamYard was a disaster.
It was.
Yeah,
it was a shocker.
Mike was lagging all the time. I
I
remember that. But yeah, we sorted it out, and we've made a good team.
Yeah, it's been fun. Lots of fun, actually.
Well done, gentlemen.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely. And I enjoyed the Welsh Open. I thought it was one of them ones that I started to watch a bit more, obviously because we were podcasting. And normally I just flitter through tournaments. I watch finals, but this time I noticed I was watching everything nearly. You know what I mean? But what a tournament to cover! Our first one and our first shocking winner.
Yeah, 750 to 1 outsider, Jordan Brown. He beats Ronnie O'Sullivan in a final 9-8.
And we covered the final. And we covered the final. Yeah.
We did some broadcasting, you remember?
We did, and we got Craig Mills on, and we got Jonathan Bolland on that night as well.
Correct. Yep, that's right.
Yep.
Great
And
night.
a Northern Irishman won, so.
He did.
Yep. Didn't we top on that night?
I still can't believe I mean, that he did win that night, because the previous frame when Ronnie made that century to go 8 all, I thought that could be the end for Jordan. And when he took that blue on and missed it, I thought Ronnie was like, I don't know if he was a bit desperate to try and win quickly then.
Yeah, it seemed a bit aggressive considering how the match had played out. But credit to Jordan, he punished him. He made the frame winning clearance.
But bear this in mind, Jordan won 5 out of his 7 matches in deciding frames.
He did. I will just tell you that his route to the final, if I can find his section, I'll just get that up for you. If I can find which section he was in. I'll tell you his route.
But I mean, when you think back, Scott, to that whole thing, I mean, it was a lot of fun.
It was.
And you're right about
in the first round, Jordan Brown beat Lu Ong Ho 4-0 in his first round. Second round, he beat Stan Craigie 4-3.
One of them.
Then Alexander Ersenbacher, your boy, 4-3.
2.
Then he beat Mark King 4-3.
3.
Then he beat Mark Selby, of course, 5-4 on that black.
4.
Yeah.
Then yes.
Yeah. The Stephen Hendry black.
Yeah. That's right.
Stephen Maguire, which was the shock for me more than anything. I know he beat Selby, but to beat Maguire as well, 6-4 was a shocker.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And then to beat Ronnie.
Something I've just realised.
Actually, he beat the three really tough players in that quarter, semi, and final.
Yeah, but something I've just realised. Jordan Brown beat the last 2 world champions in that tournament. Because he beat O'Sullivan in the final, and he beat Selby in the quarters.
Yeah. Wow.
Crazy, yeah.
And by deciding frames.
Yeah. And of course, at the Crucible the season before that, who had beaten Jordan Brown in the first round?
Ronnie. Oh, no.
Selby?
Yep. Selby 10-6.
Yeah.
But I just want to say that since we've got together, it's been a hell of a ride.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
We've met some great people: Jamie Barrett, Gaz Allen, Chris Henry, Cliff Forbin, Dave Hendon, Kelly Barker,
Marcus Stead.
Marcus Stead. Yeah.
Yeah. Met some great people, and people that you wouldn't even dream of messaging.
Yeah, it's true. Very true.
Like, think about this, gentlemen, because you reposted the final our interview with Chris Henry.
Sorry, I was just going to say Liam Highfield as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
But bear this in mind. We were speaking to the fella that's coached the 2 world finalists this year.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
That is crazy. Yeah. Yep. And did you notice that he was sat in the background of the practice tables?
Yep. Yeah, how did he decide who to go to?
Well, John Parrott said basically all you do is you go in there, wish them words of encouragement, make them both a cup of tea and leave. But Chris Henry did say this in an interview. I don't know if you heard him, but he said, I know we'll talk about this a little bit later, but he was saying that it's a mixed bag of emotions, because basically you congratulate the fella that's won and, saying well done to him, but you consolidate in the guy that's lost. It's a complete
Yeah.
All people with emotions.
Yeah, no kidding.
My
Crazy stuff.
aunt has just commented.
Oh, nice. Hi.
Yeah. She says we've all been on a hell of a journey. Well done. Thanks,
Yeah, we
Eagle.
have. Yeah, we have, Yvonne. We have really have, and I'm sort of saying that it's been incredible.
Yep.
Yeah.
Been real fun.
And,
What
yeah,
what an extraordinary season for many reasons, but
and get this, that's 4 months. That's
Yeah, I
4
know.
months. The people that we've spoken to, the tournaments that we've covered, fantastic.
Yep, agreed.
I'm not exaggerating. I think we have covered some of the greatest moments in snooker's recent history this season.
I wouldn't be too
Yep.
far wrong with that.
No, I don't think so. Obviously,
And
Jordan Brown being one of them.
Yeah. Now I'll come when we get to the headlines. We'll
elaborate
I'll
there.
talk more about Jordan Brown and the reaction over here and stuff.
Yeah.
So after the Welsh Open, we go to the Players Championship, and John wins 10-3.
Well, not only wins 10-3, but out of the 32 frames he played, he won 28 of them.
Yep.
Yep.
And also worth noting, in this tournament, not only did he thrash O'Sullivan in that final, but he thrashed Selby too.
Yep.
With
6-0.
aggregate points in that Selby match, 546 to John, 7 to Mark Selby.
I mean, when you look at that and you look at now Selby's the world champion, that is incredible to think.
Yeah, that's true as well.
That's the only match that Selby didn't dominate.
Yep, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I mean, Reid, 6-0 against Jordan Brown, who just won a tournament.
Yep.
6-0 against Mark Selby.
Yep.
It could have been 4. It could have been 4-1 against
Kyron, I think it was. Was it Kyron?
against Kyron, but he clears up like John always does for 5-0. Then Kyron does manage to steal a
Got
frame.
the frame at the end, and then.
But 6-1, and then
6-1.
But no extraordinary thing about that final against O'Sullivan. We were sort of guilty of it ourselves as well to some extent. We sort of overhyped it.
Yeah, I think they did overhype it, to be fair. Going on, that final and was. But Ronnie did put himself under pressure, didn't he, straight away?
Yeah, because you know what he said in the interview? What he said in the interview concerned me. He said, I watched John Higgins and Mark Selby and I had to turn it off because it was too grinding. So that told me that he wasn't ready to grind it out with John.
Well, what he actually said was, he says John was playing too well as well, so I knew I'd have to play well to beat him. And I think that's why he put himself under that pressure. But that's Ronnie. Is that new 0-2 or 0-3?
0-3.
0-3. Yeah. And by the way, in the Players' Championship, there was 30 centuries.
Sorry, it was 0-4. The Players was 0-4.
It was 0-4 in finals then?
When he lost after the Players, he was 0-4. He plays in one final after that.
What was his best final out of the 4?
Probably the Welsh.
I would say probably the Welsh.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that.
Because the other 3 were the other 4 rather were pretty comprehensive. I know we'll get to the third championship in a moment, but that's 10-4. Selby beat him 9-3 in the Scottish. Judd beat him 9-7 in Northern Ireland / Mountain Kings. And
Brown beat him 9-8.
yeah, so you'd say the Welsh was the best.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, agreed. But that performance in the final from John at the Players' Championship was the highlight of the season, really, for John.
Yeah. In terms of individual performance, that is not just the best this season. That is the best performance by an individual player over matches of that length ever.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I can't dispute that. He only lost 4 frames. So.
Yeah, what a fantastic performance. It was stunning. It was so stunning. Anyway, then we get to Gibraltar.
Yep.
Stephen Hendry's comeback.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. It was his return. As we both we anticipated it wouldn't be much of a return.
No, and it wasn't, was it?
He did boost himself 1 place up the centuries list.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He
got a frame. He got a frame, but still lost to Matthew Selt. Matthew Selt was playing really well at this stage, by the way.
Yep.
He was. He got to the semis.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Should have probably beaten Trump, actually.
Yeah, probably should have beaten Trump, in fairness. And then Trump beats Lisowski 4-0 in the final.
That's his 5th ranking title of the season as well.
And his 3rd one that he's defended.
Yeah, that's right. He defended that as well. So,
he defended Northern Ireland, he defended Germany, and now he's defended Gibraltar.
Yep. So, but yeah, Trump continues to get it done. Not a big fan of the best of 7s, as Calvin said earlier. That tournament's not my favourite. So
No, I agree. It's not my favourite either. But it's there, and that's it. It's 4 frames every single round, the best of 7.
Yeah.
But it's all right. I suppose that tournament really should be only made for the outside the top 16 players. I think that would be exciting.
Yeah, so take ranking status off it and just make outside, an invitational for outside the top 16, you reckon?
Yeah, and no big player should take part. But
agreed.
Yeah, that's my opinion. What do you think's got to this Q School? We did speak about this the other night, by the way. Q School being televised. Do you think that is possible?
It would be a bit labyrinthine, really, for me.
What?
It would be a bit labyrinthine.
Okay.
But I just thought that it would give the lower ranking players...
it would give the lower ranking players a bit of exposure, I grant you that. But, it was like when they played the Championship League on June 1st last year, the first event back after lockdown. Can you really sustain somebody's concentration over those roll-on, roll-off formats?
Sure.
From sort of a viewing point of view?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, true. I know, but I was just basically, my point on it.
Yeah. It would give the lower guys exposure, but at the same time, would the viewing companies want to be viewing, or would the broadcasters want to be broadcasting snooker from, say, 9 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock the next morning? Probably not.
I'm just going to move my camera, guys, because it's shining a bit too heavy at the moment, the sun.
So from there, Scott, we head to the Pro Series, a new event, and it is Mark Williams coming away with the silverware.
Yes, well, he won the final group after, again, a rather labyrinthine process.
Yep. Yeah, true. So, I mean, it was good because they needed to fill in some tournaments, but, I mean, hopefully that's the first and last episode of it.
Yes, hopefully.
Kind of like our early broadcasts.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be just stuck on the Q Tracker archive, and that'll be where it'll remain.
Yes, that's it. Very good. Very good. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that. So from the Pro Series, it is I believe it's one of Scott's favourites, the Tour Championship.
Yeah, superb tournament.
Neil 10, Ronnie 4. Graham?
Yeah. Repeat of the 2019 final. Neil was just brilliant. He was
again.
magnificent.
And again, Ronnie got blitzed.
Yeah, like
Another
at
final
4-all coming into the evening session, you sort of thought, 4-all might be, won't be too bad.
But then the horses got out of the stable and it was just a one-way traffic.
Indeed. It was quite superb. It was Robbo's best performance, I think. Have you got his route there, Graham?
I have got his route here, yeah. He first round, he beat Lazowski 10-5. Well, that's quarters. Semi-finals, he beat Selby 10-3 in the semis. And then he beat Ronnie, of course, 10-4. Ronnie's route, he beat John 10-8. Then he beat Barry 10-9. And then
when Barry was like 9-4 up, 9-6, yes, that was it.
Ronnie turned that round, but didn't turn it into a winning tournament.
And an 0-5 finals record.
Yeah. And by the way, have you noticed something about the history of the Tour Championship?
What?
By the way, Kelvin says that he thinks the Pro Series is pointless.
I think we're all agreeing that.
Yeah, probably. No, but have you noticed something about the history of the Tour Championship?
What is it?
The defending champion has never qualified the following year.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Because Ronnie won it the first year, didn't qualify the second year.
Mm-hmm.
Maguire won it in 2020, didn't qualify in 2021.
Interesting.
Okay.
So you're suggesting? Are you suggesting Neil Roberts will not be there next year?
No, I think it's broken next year.
To be honest,
I'm just pulling your legs, Gav.
That's not a far cry from the truth, actually, Mike. I think Robertson will struggle to next season. Personally, I think Robertson will struggle. I mean, yes, he beat Lazowski, but at the Worlds, but he did.
Don't you find he's cut out best for like the best of 11s and best of 19 and same day final matches? That's Neil Robertson's.
Yes,
I think he gets it in his head a little bit where when he gets to the Worlds, he's playing the longer matches, and he can't hack it. I don't think he can stand the longer matches. I really don't.
He did give an interview, and I'll give you his explanation. Right, this was his explanation. He says he doesn't like the venue because it's too cramped when there's two tables in. And if you notice something about Neil Robertson's technique, what is it? He's got a very long backswing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, if you've got a long backswing, he's hitting against the wall.
Yeah, and he did that. Actually, he did that a few years ago, if you remember. He where he knocked some water off the table.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes, and then last year, of course, do you remember what happened?
Last year? Okay.
He spilled coffee down his trousers.
Oh, he did. Yeah, he did.
Huh. Wow.
Anyway, shall we move on to the headlines now? Because we've been over the World Championship. So
yeah, we've done the World. So just to let everybody know that Mark Selby is the world champion, beating Sean Murphy
I'll just cut it back just a hair. There was a Championship League again right after the tour.
Yes, the Kyron one. Yes.
Kyron wins 3-2 over Mark Williams to win his second Championship League of the season. I believe this one was a non-ranking.
Yes, the non-ranking, more traditional Championship League format. Yes.
Correct. And then we've obviously the Worlds. We've talked about that. Headlines.
Headlines.
Who's going first?
Why don't you start us off, Mike?
All right.
My headline. My headline is Ronnie 0-5 in finals. I find that's. I believe we're beginning to see the slow decline, and we're going to see a little bit less of Ronnie, I think, over the next little while.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you. I think so. I think I said within 5 years, I think he'll retire.
Yeah, because with the exception of Jordan Brown, right? Who was the 4 players that beat him? Trump,
Selby, and Higgins.
Yeah, 4 players
Anyways.
are playing better than him. So yeah. And then you could probably explain the Jordan Brown result by saying he put too much pressure on himself because he was a heavy favourite.
Well, I think I said that at the time. I thought that because he was overriding favourite, that's why he didn't win, probably.
Yep, that's possible.
But maybe another psychological reason was because he'd already lost in 3 or 4 previous finals.
Yep, correct. I agree with that as well.
And also, as I said on the Players' Championship, right? He made a fatal psychological error before he started.
Yeah, he put himself under pressure because of watching Higgins.
Aye.
So,
and I have to go back to what Chris Henry said. Why the heck is he in the Eurosport studio?
Yeah, that's a whole discussion for another day. That, to me, it comes across as silly, nonsensical. Like, why? Why are you going to have other players talking about potential opponents in another tournament? It just seems silly. You know what I mean? But that's another day. Scott, what's your headline?
He agreed to do that, Mike, on the other hand.
True. I just wonder if it does him more harm than good, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Just one more thing about Eurosport, just before we go on to the headlines. As we spoke about this, Mike, but Colin Murray's retirement from it, Scott. What do you make of that?
Fellow Ulster man, of course.
Yeah.
And a man who I obviously greatly respect, and a man who was very good at his job.
Yeah.
And of course he wants to, balance out his life and, various things. And the other headline you've got, Mike, has to do with the Trump and Robertson decider, is it? The 2 deciders in finals.
Just a quick one over those finals at the English Open where Judd won, and then the UK where Neil won. Specifically, the Neil one for me was the best match of the season. It's the 10-9 one. But yeah, those guys were just fantastic. Like, those are the best finals I think we've seen this season.
Yeah, definitely. I would say the English Open was slightly better, but nonetheless.
Headlines from Graham. Barry Hearn retires after 40 years as UK's leading sports promoter. He was incredible. The legacy he's left is great, creating the Matchroom Sport empire. He also did a lot for darts. He also did a bit for golf as well, and also fishing because he was a keen fisherman. And he was also the chairman of the Leyton Orient Football Club as well for almost 20 years. So, full credit to him, and it's a shame to see him go. He will be missed, but I'm sure he'll still be in the background. He also did work with boxing as well. So, great guy, Barry, and Yeah, what more can you say about the man? We need an episode on him.
And I mean,
I
what
think
he's
so.
done for our game is just tremendous.
Yeah, how he's invented the Q scores, the more tournaments, wild cards, Q cards, merits, whatever. He's just incredible. That guy, he's great.
Like, I
And
know.
not only that, Scott, he's managed to make that tournament, the World Championship, full again. During
Yeah.
all this COVID rubbish, he's made it. I know it's not rubbish to some people. Obviously, some people's lost family members and stuff. Not disrespecting that. I'm just saying that through all this kind of,
Yes.
stupidity, he's made that tournament full again, and full credit to him, and full credit to all the backroom staff at the Crucible, and referees, commentators, TV, everyone. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Agree. Good shout.
And how they got all them crowds in, giving them tests or whatever they had to do to get them in.
Yeah.
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure that the guy who's taking over, Eddie's
Steve Dawson.
I'm sure that he'll do a fantastic job.
Yeah, well, he's been around with Barry for many years, so he knows what he's doing. Steve, obviously, he's a different man. Like, there's a different personality. But as I've said, with Jason Ferguson in charge day to day, I don't expect much change sort of to the tournament schedule.
No. No, I think it'll stay the same. I hope it stays the same anyway. It'll be a shame to change it all now. To change anything now, actually. Scott, your headline there?
Well, I have 3 to go through.
Yeah, we'll go.
And they're all local, actually. They're all Northern Ireland related.
Okay.
And we'll start with Mark Allen's victory at the Champion of Champions. He was absolutely superb. 4-2 against Scott Donaldson from 2-1 down, actually. He won 4-2 there. But then, listen to this for a run after that. He had Judd 6-1. Ronnie 6-3, Judd 6-1, and then Robertson 10-6. He was brilliant. He was absolutely brilliant.
Yep.
Particularly in that match against O'Sullivan, despite O'Sullivan's stupid protesting.
Yeah, I remember that in his eye line.
That's right. Mark Allen.
Absolute nonsense from Ronnie as ever, but nonetheless.
Do you know what the funny thing was about that? That he actually complained to Mark before he went for that red. He complained to Mark, got down, played the red, missed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. He did.
He did.
Yeah. Keep your mouth shut in future, Ronnie.
Yeah.
And get off Eurosport.
Next headline, Scott.
Yeah.
Well, and then the other one is, of course, Jordan Brown. We've obviously focused a lot when we're reviewing the Welsh Open on the actual snooker side of it, but bringing it back home to Northern Ireland, our sports pages went absolutely mad.
Yeah. And I mean,
to bring Jordan's backstory, he was working at a petrol station in Antrim 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well deserved as well.
And me and my father were laughing watching it, because it was like, that's the tractor company in Ballymena, a big town about 50 miles away from me. That would have been getting some sponsorship or some publicity, because Jordan had it on his waistcoat.
Oh, yeah.
What was great that night when we was actually covering that final? You actually shouted out, Scott, you went, "This is history! This is amazing!"
I remember that.
Yes, I did get rather overexcited that night.
And you wore your Northern Ireland shirt, of course.
I was going to say I was disappointed in Scott. He didn't have his Northern Ireland shirt on earlier than that, though.
I said that after he beat Selby. Yeah, I do agree. But
yeah,
fantastic result, especially for your part of the world, Scott. Because
yes,
not much happens.
absolutely.
Not much happens in Northern Ireland, does it? Not since 1985, anyway.
No, not really. Well, Mark Allen's won the old tournament in China, and Mark Allen got good result for that was a good result winning the champion of champions. I tell you. But Jordan Brown, it just came out of the blue. It was marvelous.
Yeah, and also it was partly in joke that, Scott, because you had Alex Higgins as well, of course.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not going to take that away from you.
Yes, of course.
My piece of next news, by the way, was to say that Alan McManus had retired after 31 years of playing career. But I've got to say that the man is an absolute legend. I mean, he's gone into commentary now, and I'm sure he'll be coaching as well. And he said, I made the decision. He's made a decision before Christmas, because for a number of reasons.
Because he can't get on to play.
He said his year has been pretty tough with COVID, and I'm working on TV as well. I'm not able to play and practice as I used to. I always thought that 50 was a good number to stop, and it's a young man's game, and you have to face up to that. So there you go.
But he is the purest snooker fan I have ever met.
Yeah, and I've
never met him in that sense, but
I have. So I've met McManus.
You lucky devil.
I met him in Coventry at the Champions along with Clive Everton, which was, I think I met him on the same day as it was, because I was only there for the afternoon and the evening session.
But Alan is just a tremendous,
he's a genuine guy, absolutely genuine.
See, Alan, right? Alan would be the sort you'd just love to sit down with for about 3 hours and just chew his brain.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he'd be a good guest on the show.
Yeah. Calvin says McManus was a very tough player, should have won more. I asked you before we went on air, can you name the 2 players that he beat to win his ranking tournaments? I'll put that out to our audience. That can be our trivia question for tonight. Who did McManus beat to win his 2 ranking tournaments?
Well, he made 3 semi-finals at the World Championship and 2 quarterfinals.
Yeah.
Which was great. Also, he won. He won a few ranking events as well. He won the Masters. I know that's not a ranking event. And also he won the Dubai Classic and the Thailand Masters.
Yeah. Stop there.
Am I correct there, Scott, in that?
Yes, but stop there. I thought you were going to give the answers away there.
No. He also made 2 finals at the Welsh Open and a European Masters final as well.
Yeah.
He was 2-time finalist at the Thailand Masters.
Yes. His first ranking final was the Thailand Masters in '93. And Steve beat him 9-3.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say give too much away, Scott.
No. That was the one he was beaten.
Mike, so McManus, thoughts?
Wonderful player. Wonderful player. He might be the best, the brightest snooker brain out there currently, I think.
The best tactician of the game. And I think what we were saying before, Scott, was if Selby played McManus in his heyday, McManus would have beaten Selby.
Can you imagine if a world final between them had gone 18-17?
You only imagine that. It would have gone to a final black. Sure it would.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So, Mike, your piece of news now, headline.
Actually, my two headlines are done. That was the Ronnie and the Neil and Judd. But I've got a couple of facts that I want to point out. For the season, there was 1,441 centuries.
Right.
The list is Trump 90, Hiram Wilson 74, Neil Robertson 72, Mark Selby 63, and Stuart Bingham 50. That's the top 5. 147s. There was 8. 9, correct. 2 by Bingham, 1 by Joe Long, 1 by Gary Wilson, 1 by Judd, 1 by John, 1 by Ryan Day, and 1 by Sean Murphy.
Yep.
And a total of 14,186 frames were played this season. Any questions?
And what you missed out there, Mike, was how many failed 147s did we have?
Yeah, well, there was a few attempts as well. That's true.
Yeah, Selby's more notable. The what tournament was that, Scott?
That was Wales, wasn't it? The Miss Pink.
Yeah.
Welsh Open,
that was Selby on the Miss Pink.
Yeah, that's right.
Might have even have been against Jordan Brown. Now I think about it. In that match.
Scott, is he
right?
Yeah,
I think it was.
I think it was in that match. It was like frame 5 or something against Jordan Brown. He missed a pink. He looked like a certainty to get a 147.
He did.
So, but all right.
Steve Davis, by the way, Kelvin says Steve Davis was devastating. In the 80s, the safety play was incredible. Steve Davis' safety play. I agree there because every time, apparently, you come to the table when you were playing Steve Davis, John Virgo said this, that cue ball was on that bottom cushion tight.
Yeah.
On that bottom cushion. And Kelvin says he met McManus in York and Sheffield. Lovely bloke. McManus was a tough player. Should have won more, yeah. That's right. I think Scott read that one out.
All right. Any parting shots? Scott, parting shots.
The best season ever.
That's it? That's all you got? You're good?
Yep.
Yeah.
Graham, your parting shots, sir.
Well, it's sad to see that the season's finished. I thought that the world final wasn't a standard that, it wasn't really up to most previous years of finals, but it was okay. I thought that the last session was the best session, and I still maintain that I still will say that if Murphy played safe off that red or potted it, he might have gone 17-all and possibly won. That's all I'm going to say.
Not bad. My parting shot will be, it's been fun working with you guys for the quarter of the season. And I look forward to many more various episodes of various content done different ways, different guests. Look forward to it.
I still can't believe that I actually set it up and it's been a success.
Yeah,
it's true. Been a very good success.
Yep.
Yeah, just we'll advise our viewers to watch this space for when episodes will be on, because obviously with no tournaments on, we mightn't be quite as regular, but
we'll advertise days in advance. We'll put up, I know I'm doing an episode with Scott on Friday.
Yeah, I will say this, that the World Seniors start tomorrow.
Okay, very good.
So I'm looking forward to a few matches there. Any highlight matches for you in that, Scott, by the way?
Joe Johnson and Ken Doherty, 1986 versus 1997, looked good.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I don't expect the standard to be good, though.
No.
My one I'm looking forward to is Stephen Hendry versus Patsy Fagan. Believe it or not. That should be somewhat interesting.
What did Patsy Fagan do in his career, guys? Do you know?
Won the UK Championship in 1977.
Okay.
So clearly Hendry's coming. So clearly Hendry's coming in as a favourite then. Don't you think?
Yes, but I'm sorry we got a bit longer than usual tonight, but obviously we were reviewing the entire season, so it took us a bit longer.
Oh, one interesting match. It's not my pick of the tournament. But my pick of the tournament is Dennis Taylor against Barry Pinches. I think that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Let's just say I hope Barry wins that. I know Dennis is from Northern Ireland, but good grief.
And one of the interesting matches is Iger Figueiredo against John Parrott.
Yep.
John Parrott better watch himself there.
I think he bet. I think Figueiredo will beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, we should say it's on the BBC Red button for those in the UK and on the iPlayer.
Yep. I'll just run through the matches. Jimmy White against Tony Knowles, Lee Walker and Darren Morgan, Iger Figueiredo, John Parrott, Stephen Hendry and Patsy Fagan, Michael Judge, Patrick Wallace, Barry Pinches, Dennis Taylor, David Lilly, Philip Williams, and Ken Doherty and Joe Johnson.
Excellent.
There we go. That's it.
All right.
And David Brown, who is a senior referee, will be hopefully joining us after the seniors on one of our episodes, which is good.
That'll be fun.
So that's good. And hopefully we've got Philip Seymour, and hopefully if we can get hold of Joe Johnson and Phil Yates, that'll be fantastic as well. And hopefully McManus.
I also want to make a point out, if any professionals want to come on our show and we're not able to get a hold of them, that we have an open door, please come on, just contact us. Yeah. Come on, we're more than willing to have a good conversation on air.
And Scott, have you got Kelly Barker coming back again?
I suppose we could try again, but I suppose she'll probably want a break from snooker for a week or two yet.
Yeah, I saw
we can work it out before this.
She's got her tickets for next year sorted as well.
Yeah,
that was quick.
Yeah. So I'm like, I want to go next year. Oh, I've got to go next year.
Oh, me too.
I've got to try.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You've never been, Mike.
I will make every effort. If I'm able to, if the world allows for travel, and then I'm gonna go. It's that simple.
Get down on your knees beside your bed tonight and
pray. No, fantastic. Thank you, guys. I just want to say, it almost feels like we should have a glass of, like, to virtually say cheers.
Oh, we could still do that.
The fist pump, the elbow or something.
There we go. Very good.
And can you imagine if we had like a beer going on, Mike, or something? Scott would have his milk there.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be great. All right, fellas.
I want straight, no hesitation. I'm going to ask you straight away, Mike, and then Scott. Player of the season for you.
Mark Selby, final answer.
Scott.
Mark Selby, final answer.
Graham.
I'm gonna go with well, because he only had a good tournament at McGill, but at World Champs. But overall, I'll go with Selby. I think we're all on Selby's train there.
We all agree. Whoa.
We agree.
Yeah. Excellent stuff.
Toss up though. Who's your second? So he's gold. Who's silver?
Judd.
Trump.
Yeah, and bronze.
Ronnie.
Oh, put Ronnie. Really? Ronnie at bronze?
Yeah, I'll go Ronnie. I think that's it. He did get to 5 finals. He wasn't terrible. Just unexpected, I guess. Yeah, Ronnie's bronze.
I'll go Murphy for bronze, just because
he
had a bad season and made the final.
Yeah.
Yep. Fair enough.
But yeah, cheers, guys. It's been fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. We will be back sooner rather than later, and we'll post in advance.
So, final time, Mike.
He is Scott in Northern Ireland. He is Graham in Burton-on-Trent. And Mike, we're signing out. We will see you later. Have a good one. See you, fellas.
Cheers.